Okay, Stuka Joe here. It's January 26th here at the II Bellota Con in Badajoz, Spain. It's the third day of the four-day convention, and we're gonna just walk around, take a look at what's going on. So stick around. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. You got a group of fellas with Command & Conquer's Napoleonics. Esta es la versión extendida, el mapa más largo, ¿verdad? The extended version. So you have three generals on each side. Got the British, and on this side.
Portuguese.
Oh, Portuguese. Oh, okay. Ah, pero los portugueses son los marrones.
Sí.
Ah, ok. Usted es comandante portugués. Esto, ¿verdad? Oh, okay. I see it. ¿Y qué batalla es esta específicamente?
Busaco.
Busaco. Okay, Busaco. Sí. Here we got the see the terrain tiles. They're using plexiglass to hold them all together, and you can see the boundaries. They mark the boundaries with these white markers there. So each commander has his forces, and this is commands and colors. So you play the cards that allow you to move your forces depending on where they are. So you see the French side of things.
Al final se coge una carta de cada, ¿no? Tienes que regularla porque si gastas muchas cartas, al final solo vas a recuperar una, ¿eh?
We see Crusade and Revolution, the deluxe version. Esta es la versión deluxe, de lujo. With the big map, the big counters, and tiene fichas grandes, and it also has some optional cards. Y van a usar las cartas opcionales también.
Estas son las que están, bueno, estas son de David, traducción hechas en castellano.
Esta es una de las opcionales.
Sí.
Ah, vamos a verla porque this is see, it's in Spanish, but it's Italy and Germany recognize the nationalist Spain. So you got one victory point at it. Nice. So it's a 4-ops card. Muy bien. Gracias. And this is one I've never seen, Reconquista. So this is by Edge. We're taking a look here. Este está dividido en... ¿Quiénes son los participantes aquí?
Pues mira, el reino... ¿Cómo era? ¿El reino de Castilla?
El reino de Castilla, que es Antonio.
Castilla, so this is the Castilian player right here, Antonio.
El reino de Sevilla.
Sevilla.
El reino de Aragón.
Aragón.
Y el reino de Zaragoza.
El reino de Zaragoza.
Zaragoza. Zaragoza. En Puerto Rico es Zaragoza, aquí es Zaragoza. Y es como es todos contra todos.
Sí,
So it's
correcto.
Y o sea, it's everybody against everybody, pero puedes hacer alianzas, me imagino.
Él y yo somos cristianos y los dos son musulmanes.
Oh, okay, so there's two Muslim factions and two Christian factions. Okay.
No estamos aliados, pero tenemos más premios si le pegamos a los musulmanes que si los pegamos.
Okay, they're not allied, but if there's a reason for the Muslims to stick together and the Christians to stick together in terms of the game's victory conditions. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Nice. You got some cards here with events. Okay. So you could be called to be allied. You're going to have to be allied with somebody depending on if you get draw an event. So las cartas son de evento.
Sí.
Y veo que hay unas cartas ahí, caballería.
Son las tropas de los ejércitos. Los ejércitos vienen con un líder y con tropas que compramos.
So the troops are represented in the cards. Entonces las cartas representan los soldados.
La fuerza, que es distinta, el tipo de territorio donde combaten mejor,
Okay, so you have
y el líder.
their strength and the type of terrain where they are more effective. And you have leader cards too. Okay, nice.
About war and money as life.
That's right. That's true. That's true. Okay. Very nice. Thank you. You see a group of guys starting. They're playing Angola by MMP.
Yo tengo una quinta columna porque la guerra tiene que empezar, que empieza aquí.
they tell me that this game has a particular characteristic that you use your cards to set up like the sequence in which you're going to move your columns. So you organize your columns in stacks and designate them A, B, C, D. And before playing the turn, you put your cards in certain order. So there's certain pre-turn planning going on.
Sí, sí, porque ahí en jungla más mejor. Más mejor.
En jungla el defensor tiene 2 dados, ¿no?
Sí. Tiene 2 dados, más por escarpado, la ciudad. No, desde aquí no.
And here we see Hands on the Sea. This is a game about the Punic War. I don't know, ¿qué guerra púnica es esta? Primera? The first Punic War, Rome, Carthage, designed by Daniel Berger, who I met at Consim World this summer, and we played Crusade and Revolution. So Daniel, if you're watching this, here's your game in Spain. So we have a lot of cards here, and esta edición es en inglés, ¿verdad? It's in English.
La edición Kickstarter.
Oh, this is the Kickstarter edition. Contiene todos los extras. Oh, you got the metal coins. Ah, these are nice, yes. It's very nice. Chulísimo. And here we have some friends from Portugal. They're going to play Triumph and Tragedy. So they're setting up the game. This is a 3-player. This game is really a strange game. So 3 players, block game, card-driven game. So it has all those 3 things. Well, they're setting up, so let's see how they fare later on. Here we see South Pacific. This is a smaller version of Empire of the Sun. Let's see, a ver cómo están las cosas aquí.
We are in the Guadalcanal. In Guadalcanal.
Guadalcanal, so you're going.
The American forces are invading Guadalcanal.
Okay.
And we are checking the rules.
Okay, it always happens. Happens to everybody, to the best of us, and we still screw them up. So no problem. Here we have this is a game that is in progress and development. Mando Táctico. This is how the cards are going to come out. And they're playing, they're testing it right here. Juan, ¿verdad? ¿Tu nombre?
José.
Oh, José, perdón. José and Crisanto. Y ustedes son de Trafalgar Editions, correcto. Así que they're testing here. The game is a World War II card game, a tactical game. I see you had some half-tracks, infantry, artillery. Got the Panzers, and here you have these are the Soviet. Where are the Soviets? Estos son los soviéticos. Okay, you got the Germans on this side, and the Soviets on this side. Okay, great. Y es un juego puramente de carta. Como si me recuerda como al Upfront. ¿Me has jugado Upfront?
No, el Upfront es más táctico, con movimientos relativos.
Sí.
Esto es carta, puro carta.
Ah, ok.
Muy dinámico, muy rápido.
Más dinámico, ok, está bien.
Un dado de 26 y un dado de 10.
It uses a 10-sided and a 6-sided die, so it looks interesting. Ok, pues lo dejo ahí. Gracias. Holland 44. Este es el mismo juego que empezaron ayer. Y las cosas no le iban bien a los aliados, ¿verdad?
En este juego nunca le van bien a
Nunca le van bien. Y los ingleses todavía están... está bien.
Bueno,
Están bien asentados.
Ah, bueno, están ahí. Tienen como una línea ahí formada.
sí, están muy embolsados, pero ahí están.
The British are kind of stuck, but they still have a line there. Y entonces, ¿en qué turno están? ¿En qué día están?
Es el turno 10, la mitad del juego.
So they're midway through the game, turn 10. Aquí tiene so the Americans are advancing up to Nijmegen. Oh, Nijmegen's here. So tiene la línea del frente está aquí, más o menos.
Sí, la línea del frente está aquí y aquí hay disputa porque voy a intentar.
Ah, tienes unos
hacerle
alemanes.
un gancho por este lateral.
Ah, okay, so the Germans are holding this side will be the right side of the map,
Yeah.
and the Allies have reached Nijmegen, but on a very narrow front, en un frente muy estrecho. So the British poor guys have to wait a little more, ¿verdad? Los británicos tienen que esperar un poquito más.
El problema de los británicos es que la única forma que tienen ese tapón. Ay, a mí no me grabes, me da mucha vergüenza.
Okay. La única forma que tienen es que
Me han puesto un tapón muy potente al norte de Nijmegen. Me ha atascado ahí. No he sabido jugar una alternativa a romper el frente por otro lado que no sea Nijmegen.
Okay. ¿Y qué te parece el juego?
Muy divertido.
Muy bueno.
Es muy divertido.
Es que la campaña, a mí siempre me interesó más la campaña de Market Garden que la misma de Battle of the Bulge esa.
Ah, sí, bueno, son distintas. Esta es difícil para todos los bandos, porque el alemán tiene muy poca gente y el aliado tiene demasiados agujeros, tiene demasiados huecos que tapar.
Sí. ¿Y qué son con los tanques y qué son las cosas estas?
Estos son pesos porque hemos puesto un plástico y se levanta.
Ah, entiendo, ok. Para que el plástico no se levante. Bueno, pues muchas gracias. Vamos a ver si salvan a los diablos rojos ahí en Arnhem.
No sabemos.
Okay. Este es el mismo juego que lleva 2 días.
Sí.
Estamos aquí del otro lado de la colina, the other side of the hill. ¿En qué año estamos ahora?
Estamos en otoño del 43.
It's the fall of 1943. ¿Y por dónde van los rusos? ¿Por dónde estamos en Rusia?
They are rather stalled because we have pushed the Allies out. We have ejected them from Italy with a very successful counterattack using paratroopers. So this has allowed us to send armies to the east. So we are defending Rostov, we are defending Stalino, we are defending Kursk, and we are defending Narva.
So I think you're doing better than historically, right?
Yes, because right now the south was much further to the west, and there are no Western allies in Italy.
In Italy, okay, great.
So they are doing good. That is good for the Oberkommando der Wehrmacht. That is good for Hitler.
Okay, that's good for
because if Germany can resist up to the spring of 1945, that's a lot of points for the Führer.
Okay. So and this is the current OKW player? Is this one?
Exactly.
Okay.
He's got Kesselring and he's the Oberkommando Sud, so he's the one who leads in Italy. And then he has already used these generals, okay, and he's got Hossbach and Fresner available, okay, to be used in battles.
Okay.
And they are good defending generals.
I see there, yes. Okay, good, Friedrich Histogame.
The problem is that they have very low seniority. So if there's a more senior general who is trying to get the command, he takes precedence over them.
Oh, I see. Okay. So the game continues here, and
yes.
And the other players. ¿Usted representa a quién aquí? Tiene a la...
Soy el jefe de producción.
The chief of production, okay?
He's the one who's winning. He's winning right now.
He's winning?
Yes.
Oh,
he has managed, he's here. He's got 70 or 80 prestige points.
Oh,
the second one is the chief of personnel, and he's got 76 points. And then me, I'm the chief of operations. I got 71, and the last one right now is Hitler. But if he goes on like that, he will achieve his objectives, and he will get lots of points.
He will get okay. This is a game where the players represent, they're all German players, and can we say it has some cooperative elements that you have to cooperate to try to win World War II? Or?
Yes, to a certain extent, but then each player has their own objectives, and one of them may actually be the anti-Hitler ring, and their objective would be to end the war earlier than it actually did.
Oh, okay, so you haven't had the plot to assassinate Hitler yet?
Not yet. That's an event that may happen in 1944.
And does it depend on how the war is going? If it's going well, it's more likely, it's less likely, and if it's going really bad?
When the coup attempt happens, what we do is that we have these little black orchestra cards, okay? And some of them have points for the coup or against the coup.
Oh, okay.
So we play them, we choose to play them or not to play them, and these go, some of them go for the coup, some of them go against the coup. We add them up, and if you have a positive result, and the result is higher than the fanatism in Germany, then Hitler is overthrown and shot dead.
Okay.
If it isn't, then nothing happens.
But if nothing happens, do some of these generals get executed or something?
Some of them had already been sacked. And actually some of them, for instance, Rommel, who is there, in 1944 you have to roll a die, and he might get shot by Allied planes. Some of them have already been captured, others have had a heart attack, so you have several misfortunes happening to them.
Okay, I see. Well, sounds really interesting. So keep on having fun, guys. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. We have, I think this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players playing Virgin Queen. Son 5 jugadores aquí jugando Virgin Queen. 6. 6-player Virgin Queen game. Taking the whole table. It's a big game. ¿Están a punto de empezar? So they're about to start. So let's see how far the Pope can go here. Okay. This is a game called Navíos de Línea. This is a Trafalgar edition. This is by Trafalgar Editions too. It's a Spanish game company. Nice Compass Rose, I suppose this is. Got the play raids. And the ships are very nice. I don't see any hexes here, so this must be like you move by. Yes, those arrows that you see there, blue arrows and red arrows, are used to move the ships around. It's a very nice looking game in terms of visual appeal. Let's see if we can get a close-up here. And there's some more ships on this side. We have Volko Runke explaining Nevsky to a couple of players here. It's a very interesting new system here. We have Bastogne. This is the standard combat system, ¿verdad? De MMP. Estos son los que yo tengo. Yo no soy OCS. No llego hasta OCS por alguna razón. Me gustan estos standards. Ustedes tienen Guadalajara, ¿no tienen ese? Ellos tienen uno de Guadalajara. Muy bueno también.
Ah, sí, el de la Guerra Civil Española.
De la Guerra Civil Española, sí.
No lo tenemos, eso no lo tenemos.
¿Y cómo va esto aquí?
Acabamos de empezar. Bueno,
ah, empezaron.
El 902 está dando caña. El Kangaroo 902 está dándole... Acaba con toda la artillería americana en el sector.
So the Germans are attacking, approaching Bastogne. Let's see if they surrounded Bastogne or not. Vamos a ver si los americanos defienden.
Bueno, ahora viene la 101.
So the 101st, ¿es una edición de infantería?
No, aerotransportada.
The paracaidista, the 101st, that's the Screaming Eagles. The Screaming Eagles are about to... Pero ellos vienen en camiones, ¿no?
No, parten de aquí, de la assembly area.
Okay, tienen una sede, they have an assembly area there. Okay, I see. So,
hay cargas adelante que toda la transportada llega aquí.
Vamos a ver si en este juego dicen nuts o dicen nos rendimos. Nuts rendimos. Okay, que disfruten.
Gracias.
We see Friedrich. This is a very curious game where the combat system is dependent on these square areas with the symbols for like the hearts, diamonds, and similar to Maria. This is, I think, more simpler version. Esta tapa de qué es eso, de cuartillo de leche, ¿de qué es?
No sé muy bien de qué son, pero vamos, una idea impresionante.
¿Y para cuál es la idea de esto? The idea for this thing. Ah, ya veo.
Para guardar las tropas.
Oh.
Las vas guardando aquí, no tienes problema.
Oh, sí. Para saber, para mantener la fuerza.
Con su numerito.
En vez de mantenerlo en papel, la fuerza lo tienes así en... Oh,
Y esto supongo que lo habrán impreso, ellos lo habrán pegado, tapas de botella, al final de 5 litros.
So these are the caps of, I don't know, some sort of container, and they're using them to denote the strength of the unit. So depending on the number of blocks beneath, that's the strength of the units, instead of recording it on paper. Oh, interesante.
Sí.
Qué bien. Porque tiene 8 unidades.
Porque él es el que más ejércitos tiene.
Ah, son los prusianos, ¿verdad?
Los prusianos que tiene que defender ahí a muerte.
¿Y tú eres que los rusos?
Yo soy los rusos.
Los rusos.
Mi objetivo es ir a la muerte.
Okay.
Él defiende la muerte y yo ir a la muerte.
No, you're going towards death. Okay, well, that sounds like the Russians. Entonces tienen los amarillos, son los austríacos. No, los austríacos son los blancos.
Son los blancos.
Okay, the whiter Austrians.
El ejército imperial.
The
¿No? ¿El ejército imperial?
The Imperial Army is the yellow, los amarillos. And the armies are denoted by these cylinders that have the name of the commander, ¿verdad? You got your cards, and the cards dictate how effective combat is going to be depending on these, on the depiction of the mazo, the suit. So you see the cards there, they have hearts, spades, diamonds. So depending on where the battle is being fought, if it's in an area with a heart and you have hearts, you're golden. If you don't, you're screwed. And you're going to probably have to retreat. So you have to plan ahead, depending on the cards you have, where you want to attack, where you want to defend. So I haven't played it, but it's a very unique combat system. So, but a lot of people love this one in Maria. So.
Sufriendo mucho, ¿no?
Here they're playing Mason Dixon Cup. This is great campaigns of the American Civil War. See where the action is.
Entonces ahora, ¿cómo se mira? Tienes aquí más 3 y recorres hasta que encuentras 5.
See Harper's Ferry right there?
Es DR. Para vosotros DR. Vale. ¿No tenéis bajas? Vale. ¿Cómo se resuelve? La D.
Pero 5 porque tenemos 5.
Entonces, la D es desorganizado, ¿vale? Y
this map is really big. It has a really large hexes. I don't think this is the one that comes with the game, but I may be wrong.
Tienes que retirarte 2 mínimo dejándote del que te ha pegado. El que controle esa unidad que dirija la retirada.
No, está estupendo.
La verdad que traen varias fichas en el sábado.
¿Qué están jugando? ¿Antitam? ¿O la campaña?
Sí, es el escenario de 3 cigarros, que es la toma de Harper's Ferry.
Ah, okay, this is the 3 cigar scenario, the attack on Harper's Ferry, which is still in Union hands here.
Vale.
Muy bien.
Está retirado.
There's another group with Friedrich. So Friedrich is very popular, right? You got two games going on at the same time. Battletech. The robots. Getting here. No, si vienen los nacionales por ahí, yo tengo que salir corriendo.
Y pon fortificación aquí. Estamos aprendiendo.
Hay que hacer la línea Bellota aquí.
Ah, tiene la línea, dice.
Hay que hacer la línea Bellota.
¿Qué va a hacer? Conectar, porque él aquí en el norte solo puede hacer una casilla, activarla. Conectar aquí es lo que va a hacer. Vamos a hacer que pierda el tiempo. Fortificaciones.
You see the group playing the Busaco game here, the commands and colors still about to start. No significant combat yet, so.
Voy a disparar con la ametralladora.
Si no la hubiera tenido.
This is the Richard Borg World War I game.
No está mal. Ha sido un intento.
Ametralladora que es con un dado, correcto.
Vamos, salga la carabela.
No, yo creo que.
Antes yo creo que salía alguna, pero bueno.
Bueno, yo.
See here the German physicians.
Si salen banderas, da igual.
See the British in the background there.
Nada.
In the Segunda Bellota Con, I had the wonderful opportunity to meet Volko Runke, one of the top designers in our hobby. And I was amazed at the passion he shows for designing what we call war games, but what really are alternate history games. Why? Because these games can take you back in history to another time, where you make the decisions under historical constraints, and these decisions can change history. And for me, a successful war game is one that takes you to that world. Winning or losing in the end doesn't really matter that much. The voyage to that world, what we also call the immersion factor, is the thing for me. Well, that's why I play war games, and I think that's a big reason why Volko likes to design them. In the end, each great game is its own world inside a box. So let's get back to the Segunda Bellota Con, where Volko plays a teaching game of Nevsky with some of the attendees.
And one thing I need to be concerned about here is it's winter time, so there's no carts, boats, or ships. Everything moves by sled, and I only have a few sleds. So I'm levying sleds, but I'm also just building up my armies generally. All right, so Hermann, I think Hermann will go big with forces to be a big scary army here. So we'll levy 2 vassals and say that these, great lords, these are royal princes of Denmark here. What they're assembling is sleds. That's what they are levying. But if you're going to
each lord has its own card here. Display and
so
you have
the positions on the map are represented by the cylinders, but what that lord has, his forces, his own forces, his vassal forces, his transportation, his provender, his coin if he's carrying any, and any special cards that apply to things he can do like raiders or warrior monks, are all shown by these mats, these 5x5 mats. And it also means if we have a big battle, we can array the lords against each other, left, right, and center, and reserve using the mats as well. Okay, good.
Gabrielo can buy it.
Yes.
For any right. So we have got 2 warships left.
And is this is one scenario, or you have multiple scenarios?
So there are 6 scenarios, and what we have set up here is the full length, the full 2 years.
Okay.
But the scenarios range from 2 turns all the way up to 16 turns.
Oh, okay. How many cards maximum can you put underneath each mat?
2 per lord.
2 per lord.
Which you can see, no more than 2 really fit.
Yeah, right? that's why I fit. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 per lord, and over here you can put as many as you have lords total, which affect your whole side.
Oh, okay.
So some are lord specific, and some affect the whole, or more than 1 lord at a time.
Okay.
I've got 4 lords, and each of those lords has 3 command cards. So each lord could activate 3 times.
3 times. Okay.
But there's very strict limits here on how big of a campaign and how complicated a campaign you can command and plan and organize in the Middle Ages, given the communications and the loyalties and such. So in the winter time, it's only 4 cards each. The days are short, the weather's harsh.
Yeah.
So I'm going to only get to do stuff with a fraction of my lords even out there.
So you select them in secret.
I select them in secret. I picked out these 4, and then I have to arrange in what order are they going to move. So in this case, here's the order. He doesn't know any of this. Could be any of 4 lords, and it could be 1 lord could go 3 times. I'm going to do this, and this is the order in which they're going to move. I simply put that together, and that's now my command stack. And I'm going to flip these over 1 at a time.
And you're committed to that order.
And I'm committed to this order. And so is he, but of course I don't know what his is.
And those sleds dictate how far you can move in winter?
They dictate how much food you can carry.
Oh, food you can carry. Okay.
I feel like trying to get you will so much people there.
Needs a lot of food. If you have more than 6 units and he's got 9, he eats twice as he eats 2 provender each card that he moves or fights.
What's the marker beneath the units that you have them there?
Those are that's showing that those are vassal forces.
Oh, okay.
And that so he starts with a certain number of vassals that just add forces. In an advanced version of the game, an advanced rule, they also have their own service. So we would put those markers on the calendar.
Oh, okay.
Some playtesters have really preferred that because then there's even tougher decisions of the vassals are going home. In the simpler version, it works fine too. We just keep the markers here to show that they're mustered vassals, and they'll stay with the Lord as long as he's in the field. So it's a more and less complicated way to play at your option.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, so
they can carry this 2 provender easily. So it's 1, 2, 4, it's 1, 2, 4. Meaning anybody with him he can command and as move together as an army. Other leaders can do that as lieutenants, but it's a little less flexible.
Is that marked in his card that he's a marshal?
It is. It's right here.
Oh, there it is.
But it's pretty vivid on the piece, and there's always only 1 marshal on any side, so it's actually pretty easy to remember.
Oh, okay.
As you can see, there aren't that many lords.
Yeah.
Right.
And Herman was a bishop?
He's the Bishop of Dorpat. Yes.
Pretty.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's a brother of of Albert, Bishop of Riga, who was the main architect of the Livonian conquest. So at this point, Albert has died, but his brother Herman has now established himself as a border. I mean, he's a prince bishop. He's a bishop, but he's also a big feudal lord.
Oh, okay.
And he's trying to obviously expand his territory by gaining some new converts inside Russia. He's the commander who was defeated at the famous Battle of the Ice, that's in the movie.
And Nevsky, is he representing the Alexander Nevsky?
Alexander Nevsky, but he's not here yet. He only becomes available in 1241 because what's happened is Nevsky, after winning a victory for Novgorod against the Swedes up here at Neva, that's how he eventually gets his name Nevsky, he quarreled with the nobles in Novgorod, and Novgorod's a republic. They don't like tyrants. They actually threw him out. They threw him out, and then at that time the Teutons attacked, but they didn't actually invite him back for quite a while.
Okay.
So it's politics.
That's why he comes in the middle of the game, or
he comes in the middle of the game, yeah. Okay. And there's a lot of latitude when he comes in, because if the Novgorodans are feeling confident enough to decline his help and that of his brother Andrei, then they get victory points just for their independence.
Wow.
So as the Russian player, when you get to this turn, you start to have the choice. Do I collect victory points by declining the reinforcement of my good marshals?
There's a price about a price of bringing him in.
Right, which means the Teutons have to put the pressure on, because if the Russian player, it's just like a victory point bank. The Russian player just collects a victory point every turn that he doesn't need Nevsky.
Okay, so that puts the burden of attack on the Teutonic Knights.
It sure does.
Okay.
So Vladislav stocking up because we just shifted over to the winter.
Provender is like a measure of supply here?
It's exactly it. Provender is the unit of supply. So
unit of supply, okay.
I use the old-fashioned term provender. It's provisions, right?
Provisions,
the old-fashioned term provender. It's mainly food and fodder for the people and the animals, but it's also horseshoes and nails and boots and crossbow bolts and all the other supply and impedimenta of war. Here, really, the main thing was feeding the men and feeding the animals, right? And then there's the other things are like kind of little details on the side. There's no gunpowder. You're not consuming gunpowder here in the 1240s, right?
Okay.
So I just have one kind of supply, provender.
Okay.
On the other hand, because the terrain and the seasons are so varied, there are 4 types of transport. sleds, carts, boats, and ships. And they all kind of do different things.
Oh, I see.
Is developed in which each of us has one lord that if he's not paid, he's now going to go home. Because you can see here's the turn marker, and here are these lord's service markers. Their time is up. So first the Teutons. My guy Rudolph, if he doesn't get paid right now with either coin or loot,
he's gone.
He's gone temporarily. He can come back, but he's gone. Well, bad news. He has no coin, and there's nobody else with him to pay him. So I cannot pay Rudolph. So sad. Okay. So he's about to disband, but now's your chance to pay. Do you want to pay anybody? You're in the same situation with Vladislav. Novgorod itself is out of money, but Vladislav still has his coin that he stole from my garrison of Izborsk to pay himself.
Okay.
Okay.
I spend my coin?
Yes. So that will shift him up and keep him in the fight.
Where's Vladislav? That him there?
That's him who just took Izborsk. He's the hero of Izborsk.
Oh, okay, got him.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Tomb for an Empire. This is the Peninsular War, Napoleonic Wars. This is what you call the Peninsular War in Spain. And it has the whole war from 1808 to 1814. And I think this is they set up the game for the campaign game, but they're actually playing the earliest scenario, where you have action that's going to happen in Portugal, central Spain, and near the French border.
No, pero Ángel lo que está diciendo es la estrategia global y ahora ya empezamos a apostar. Y tú lo dices al revés.
¿Cómo vas a planificar la estrategia si no sabes que alguno de tus generales no tiene...
Here you see, for example, the French forces start in Lisbon.
Yo tenía una roja aquí que ha desaparecido.
Has llegado aquí.
Vamos, que si es por color, tómate por color.
Aquí tengo otro.
A ver.
So the turn starts by you roll a die to determine how many points you have, like action points, so that you can bid to see. You bid points to see if you go first, if you go before other players. So that's what they're determining now, how many points they're going to have to bid, and then the order is determined.
Now, si quieres. Bueno, la versión española, claro.
¿De qué?
La película Apocalypse Now.
Ah, Apocalypse Now. Okay, this is Hearts and Minds, originally from Worthington Games, and Compass is going to come with a new edition soon, but this is the Worthington Games edition. Este es Hearts and Minds, juego estratégico de la guerra de Vietnam. ¿Y usted está jugando un escenario o la guerra completa?
No nos va a dar tiempo la guerra completa, pero hemos empezado en el 66 y hasta el 69 quizá más o menos, o 70.
Sí. Okay, so they figure out they're going to reach, they're not going to be able to play the whole campaign, but maybe they reach 69.
En Bosco. Es Vietcong veterano. 4 más.
Vietcong Plus, un defect.
Uno muere. Sí, recuperas el punto. Aquí tengo que irme.
Bueno, vete y
no, aquí. Este es el más cercano.
No lo recupero, te quito el juego. Está bien de momento.
No lo has usado mucho.
La verdad es que no.
Entre que te lo machaqué.
This is Hitler's Reich. I actually signed up for this game with the caveat that I was going to read the instructions in the plane, but I couldn't. So we ended up playing something else. So we have here, these guys are setting it up and reading the rules. It's early Saturday night, so let's see if they can get it started. We'll check around later. Combat Commander. And this is Mediterranean esto. Pues eso es ruso.
Rusia.
Ah, Rusia.
Finito.
Te toca a ti, ¿no?
So they have the deck cases here for the French, the British, the Russians. Nice, very nice. Hey, tan bonito eso. You have Time of Crisis.
Sacarlo con una legión te cuesta un punto. Y luego, la segunda legión para meterla.
3 puntos. En general, 4 legiones. Que va a ser
See, playing Falling Sky here.
¿Haces la acción y la acción especial o...? Claro, la cuestión está también limitado si haces la limitada a un solo...
La limitada es una sola provincia.
Una sola provincia, claro.
O área.
Tú eliges una de estas.
Este de aquí sería el 100, ¿no?
You see in the game we were covering yesterday, actually moving the ships around.
Mira, este es de 3. Bueno, son 24 turnos, con lo cual no está mal. Son los primeros 4 turnos que el francés... ¿Qué vais a hacer? Vamos a ir colado, cabrones.
Abukir. Ah, ok.
Son los riffs, los acatinados, los riffs, el collo.
Sí, pero como no tenemos para simularlo, pues esto es nivel de encañamiento 1, nivel de encañamiento 2 y todo esto de aquí es tierra, ¿vale?
Oh, okay.
Y aquí tenemos unas baterías costeras. Bueno, baterías costeras no las vamos a utilizar.
Well, this is land here. It's being marked by those markers there. This is land all over this place. So they're telling me is the British, this was like a surprise attack in Abu Qir Bay. The French were anchored, and you see them anchored there. And the British actually got to move to this side. So that means that the guns from the defenses of the French on that side couldn't fire on them.
Primero combate. Atención. Este contra este y este contra este. ¿Qué ocurre? ¿Qué ocurre? Tu barco es el número 1.
And a roll now for
Vale, el
hits.
número 1. Es un barco que tiene 3 cañones, con lo cual disparas con 6 dados, ¿vale? Porque es el doble de dados.
Throw 6 dice because the ship has 3 cannons.
5, 6, 6. Entonces, como estás a esto de aquí, con 4, o sea, 4, 5, 6, 6 impactas.
He hits with 4s, 5s, and 6s.
1, 2, 3, bueno, son 4 impactos.
4 hits.
Si fuera por papa, dispararías 8 dados, pero como son 4, tiras a ver qué ha pasado. Con 4. 4 tiros.
Now he rolls for damage.
Vale, no ha habido ningún impacto crítico porque los impactos críticos son 6. Vale.
6s are critical hits.
A mi número 1. Mi número 1.
I think the hit. So now that you keep track of the damage back there in the sheets. Here we see Volko with another group showing Nevsky. Just playing it there, having a lot of fun. The last time we saw this one, Harper's Ferry was in control of the Union, but not anymore. At the Confederates, Harper's Ferry.
Pero entonces ya no, esta jugada que queríamos hacer aquí de flanquear, ya no, esto no va a funcionar.
Esta no te ayuda para flanqueo, esta no se puede usar.
This is Rex Ibericus. This is expected to be a game that is before published.
Asaltar Valencia. Me meto en tierra en 100. Entonces son 4 tropas. No, tengo un +1 en defensa. No, espera, si yo soy Aragón. Bueno, disculpame,
This
de
is
hecho,
the,
mira, lo voy a hacer que había
I think it's about the Reconquista type of game.
Y el que
It's Angola.
Aquí seguimos. 6.
¿Quién es Unitas? Hay uno que es Unitas, ¿no? Los azules.
El azul.
Son los sudafricanos, bueno, los que están apoyados por los sudafricanos. El FNLA, apoyado por el Zaire.
¿Por quién?
El Zaire.
Ah, Zaire.
Zaire, el país.
Ok.
Y los dos facciones comunistas.
Ah, los rojos y los
Los amarillos son comunistas.
Okay.
Entonces jugamos.
So now they're gonna. One of the most interesting aspects of this game is that you take your cards. Each side has a deck, and you select the columns. Each column has a letter A, B, C, D, and then you select cards for your columns. You put them in a certain order, and you're committed to playing your to play in that order. So, rolling for initiative. So the green player goes first. You move that column over there. Yellow player, he plays the 5th column. Column C here. Column C looks like a big one.
Yes.
Yep.
The big and good column. Aviones. Planes.
It's a battle there, and we are going to play the airstreaks.
What?
In this battle,
yes.
We are going to play now with the airstreaks and the air force. It's the first phase of the battle.
Oh, okay. So you got.
So they have.
So it's going to be an air battle. Es una batalla aérea.
No. Batalla aérea. Sí, primero sería batalla aérea, pero el jugador unita no tiene aviones.
Okay. Y
los defensores decidimos poner esto para bombardear la columna.
Vienen contra mí.
Sí, hombre. ¿Tienes antiaéreos? ¿Has conseguido algún antiaéreo en este?
En mi 6.
Sí, sí, sí. Pues te bombardeamos. 166 kill the unit. 4 ram 5
suppresses the unit. And suppresses what? You flip it face down?
Yes. They are not going to participate in the battle.
Tú decides si...
kill.
No, tienes 3 suprimidos.
Debe ser un kill.
Ah, sí, ya en Super 6, yes. Puede convertir dos suprimidos en un muerto.
Okay, you can choose to convert 2 suppressions into a kill.
Artillería.
3 dados.
Rolling for artillery now.
Lo tienes que enseñar. Pero llevamos viendo ese antiaéreo no sé cuántas veces, siempre te sale.
Venga, 3 daditos, vamos.
Si es la misma columna con la que luchas todo el rato. 3 dados.
Artillery.
Un muerto.
1 kill.
Puedes matar al suprimido, creo.
No. Primero los sin suprimir.
Vale.
Puede hacer. Eso es. Mata y suprime.
A este.
O sea, suprime uno.
Hasta este.
Te mato uno.
Puede hacer una supresión y matar al suprimido. Eso
sería lo mismo.
Eso, lo mismo, como mitad y mitad.
Así del año pasado, la cerveza artesanal de aquí de Extremadura. Entonces cogéis una cerveza y si no os importa dejáis la partida un momentito y os venís todos para acá porque vamos a hacer el sorteo, ¿vale?
Okay, got a beer and there's going to be like a sweepstakes tournament. Sorteo like sweepstake lottery, yeah.
Cerveza, is that what you get?
Cerveza, you get a beer, and they're gonna do like some giveaways of games, I think.
Oh, okay, you buy the beer and then you get the giveaways.